Hi Matt, welcome to Planet Drums.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you, Marco. Thank you for having me. I know this is taking some time to put together. I'm glad we could finally do it.
It is, but yes, the final thing is that we're here and
Yes.
and we've been yesterday at the concert.
Okay.
So let's start with what we've seen yesterday.
Okay.
A Vasco Rossi concert live. How was it?
It was great. It was great. We've been doing different cities. We were in Rimini, we were in Bologna, now we're in Roma, and so the band is tight and very powerful, and Vasco's very comfortable now because this is, let's see, last night was the 7th show.
7th.
Yeah, so we're very comfortable and, you know, having fun.
I've heard that you already defined this as a family now.
Yes.
You've become very tight since 2007.
7,
you
correct.
play with Vasco,
yes,
right?
That's right. Yeah. So I've been working 2007 through 2013. Then I returned 2017 from Modena Park up till today, and within that time, the band has become my second family. So I love them. They're great.
We get back to Modena Park and to Vasco in 1 minute, because I have to tell you one thing. I know that you played on Alanis Morissette, Jagged Little Pill, and on You Ought to Know.
Yes.
I love that song. Is one of my favorites.
Yeah, me too. It's a great song.
How did you get involved with that?
Right. Good question. My friend Lance Morrison, bass player, who also played on Jagged Little Pill, was working with Glenn Ballard, the producer, and another drummer named Rob Ladd. And Rob, Glenn, and Lance were working with Alanis on demos, not the record. When it came time to do the record, Rob had to move to New York City to work in New York City. So Glenn, the producer, asked Lance, do you know of a drummer that you can recommend that plays well with drum loops? And he goes, yeah, my buddy Matt Log. So that's how it happened.
So usually happens this way, no? You know.
Yeah, friends that you know, that you work with, that refer you to work. You know, because that's what makes a work situation more fun. You know it's going to be good because you know the person as a player, and you know you're going to have a good time because the person is a good person. So.
It's word of mouth.
Yes, word of mouth. Yeah, that's
very important.
That's a very English saying. Word of mouth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Getting back to Vasco.
Yes.
You now seem very comfortable in playing with him. You look like you have same ideas, music ideas.
Oh yeah.
How much space, or if you have space, how much space does he give you to put what Matt Log wants inside his
a
music?
lot, but it is. I like to call it a team effort, because I will play something and Vasco 95% of the time will be like, yeah, grande, but then 5% will be like, Matt, change that. I'm like, no problem, let's change it, and we work it out. But yeah, they allow me to play the way I play, and I think that's why Vasco likes me, is because my approach is what he has always heard, for a drummer, and yes, so they allow me to play like myself, but there's always little changes that you have to do, because I'm here to work for Vasco and Vince.
Vince, yes.
So, ciao Vince. So,
He
yes.
just passed.
Yeah, Vince.
Vince just passed by. Thanks to your attitude and versatile style, you have worked with many artists such Alanis Morissette, as we said before, Alice Cooper, Beth Hart, Anastasia, and many more. In Italy, you have worked also with Ramazzotti, Eros Ramazzotti, and of course Vasco Rossi. Are there differences in your on how you approach playing different situations and well? Since we're here, how did you get the gig with Vasco a long time ago?
Right. Well, yeah, you play appropriately for whatever job you're at. Like, I play a certain way for Alice Cooper, and I played a certain way for Alanis Morissette and Slash. There are all these different approaches, and but it's all rock and roll based. You know, I'm a rock drummer. You know, I'm not a salsa drummer. I'm not a big band drummer. You know, I'm not a jazz drummer. I'm a rock drummer. But there are different styles of rock. There's pop rock. I'm not really a metal drummer, but heavy, you know, rock. I can play that. So, yeah, you adapt to the style of whatever band you're working with. So, Eros. My good friend Saverio Principini was the coordinator between big Italian artists and Los Angeles-based musicians for studio and also tours. So Saverio got in contact with me because you can find me on the internet, you know, I have a website and you can contact me, but this is before my website. But somehow he got my phone number. And he said, "Hi, my name's Saverio, and I'm hiring musicians for this Italian artist, Eros Ramazzotti. Would you be interested?" I was like, "Sure, let's do it." So I met Eros, and he was super cool. You know, we're friends today. Eros is a great guy. And so I played on 2 of his songs way back in 2005. And then they graciously offered me the tour. And I was like, wow, thank you. But it was 6 months. All over the world, and at that time I really enjoyed being in Los Angeles in recording studios. So I was like, Eros, thank you so much, but it's just too much for me to leave town for 6 months. He says, okay, I get it. So 2 years later, Saverio Principini calls me again. He goes, hey, do you remember me? Sure, how are you? And he's like, I know you don't like touring, but you have to check out this guy. And it was Vasco Rossi. I went, okay. So they sent me a live DVD of the Buoni Cattivi tour at San Siro in Milano, and I watched the whole thing to make sure I could play all the music, and I was incredibly floored. I was like, wow, everybody's singing all the songs, and Vasco's up there being, you know, hey, happy, and the energy was happy and beautiful, and from the audience, everybody's happy and beautiful. So I went, I can do this. So that's how I started. That's how they got in contact with me, and they said, well, if you want to work with him, the gig is yours. And I went, okay, let's do it.
Without even rehearsing or any...
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. That's the only time in my life that's happened, where it's like, do you want the gig? It's yours. Okay.
Why not?
Right. So that's how that happened.
So you've seen all that energy.
Yes.
But how much pressure did Modena Park put on you? 200 and more than 200,000 people.
Yes.
That was a really big concert, wasn't it?
The pressure wasn't from how many people were there. The pressure was that it was only one gig, and we had one shot to get it all right. So we rehearsed.
First take.
Yes, only take.
Only take, yeah.
So, and we did a great job. You know, Guido Elmi and Vince Pastano did a great job of rehearsing the band, and it might have been something like 4 or 5 weeks of rehearsals for one show. So we did it, and it was great. So that was the pressure of getting it all right, because no other chance to do it again.
Yes.
So, but yeah, having 225,000 people out there, it's fun. But I wasn't focused on that. I was just focused on remembering the songs and trying to play the best I could.
Well, you made history with that concert.
Yeah, Vasco made history.
Yeah. Well, and the band too. I mean, you can say I was there.
I was there.
You can say, yeah.
Yeah, so were you, right?
Well, you said remembering the song. Do you write music? Do you write a sort of chart? Because I've never seen you watching a chart and
Right.
you playing.
Well, all through rehearsals, I've written out charts.
Okay.
And I, like, a month before coming to Italy to rehearse with Vasco and the band, I'm at home writing charts.
Okay.
And in my drum room practicing. So when I arrive, I'm definitely reading. But by the second week of rehearsals, say we rehearse for 4 weeks or 3 weeks, by the second week, I put the charts away.
Okay.
Because you can't, you know, I mean, you can, but I prefer not to.
Yeah. Well,
So,
it's
and it always amazes me. I'm like, how am I going to remember all this stuff? And it's like, oh, it starts to click. And it's like, oh yeah, you know. So it's it's definitely a challenge because it's 29 songs. 20 more because the medley is 5 or 6 songs. So you're talking 30 or more songs that you have to memorize with all these little changes and all these
In
little...
fact, yesterday.
Yeah. 5 times. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. And it's just, it's not 4 bars here, 8 bars here.
It's not the blues.
Yeah,
It's not the
exactly.
blues.
It's not 12-bar blues. But that's what makes it fun.
In fact, yesterday I was there, and the medley and all these changes. I told him he was there too, and I told him, see, also in the medley, it's not very easy. You know, you change your timing, you change.
Yes.
So he's not reading. I don't know how he can memorize everything. We talked about it yesterday too.
Right. Yeah. It's like memorizing anything. You know, you just, the more you do it, and the more you know that you have to memorize it. It's like an actor learning his lines. You know, they do it. You know, it's a big script.
Yes.
You know, when an actor gets a movie script or a play.
But they can do it more times. You can't do it alive. You can
Right.
say, sorry.
Yeah,
let's
true.
do it
That's
again.
true. Well, maybe an actor on Broadway, he can't do that either.
Well, probably yes.
Yeah. Sorry, let's try that again.
No.
No.
Thanks, Sir. Another thing that I noticed yesterday, your snare drum position, it is inclined towards you, opposite as jazz players. How can you play the rim shots too? Yeah.
That's why it's angled that way,
Because you
because
don't-
I guess naturally my arm falls like this and the stick is like this.
Well, that is one.
So it's not, I don't know, my whole life I've preferred it like that. You know, I know guys that play like this, and I know, you know, Buddy Rich play like that, but he was playing traditional, so
of
the
course,
stick
yes.
kind of met like that. But yeah, it's always been a little bit of an angle.
It is.
So, and through the night, this is drummer talk now.
Yes,
but,
it is.
like 98% of the show are rim shots. But then like on ballads, I play in the middle of the drum. You know, just, it's a not as aggressive sound, and it fits a ballad
Yes.
better than a rim shot.
Yes,
So.
of course, yes.
But actually, now that I say that, Canzone, the song Canzone, is a rim shot. But other songs like, I can't think of them right now, but it's in the middle of the drum. It's a more mellow sound. as opposed to crack.
Yeah.
You know,
The big, nice rim shot crack. Yeah. Talking about you, what brought you from being a Los Angeles drummer, studio drummer, as you said before, to a world-known drummer?
A world-known
drummer. I mean, you're now requested drummer.
Money. I mean, what do you want me to say? It's exactly, you know, sessions in Los Angeles are in every city. Recording sessions are drying up a little bit, so touring is a lot more money because it's more consecutive work. Sessions for me in Los Angeles is, I'll probably do 3 sessions over a week, and then the phone won't ring for another 2 weeks. And then the following week, another 2 or 3 sessions pop up. But all those sessions, even though they're not every single day, that's how I pay my bills. But being on tour, you're getting a salary each week. Yeah. So, and if the money's right, I don't go on the road with just anybody. You know, I don't go on the road a lot, actually. You know, Vasco. And then last year I was on the road with Mike Campbell and the Dirty Knobs. Mike was from original band member of this very famous American band called Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. So I went on the road with Mike, and but I just don't go on the road with anybody. And if I do, I make sure it's, you know, worth it. Yeah, because it's a business. It really is. I mean, yeah, we all started in our bedrooms playing, and we loved it, and it was for fun. But it's called the music business, and that's how I make my living. So, to answer your question again, to go from my comfortable life at home, if you want me to leave and go on the road, it financially needs to make sense for me.
It's your job.
Yes,
anyway.
It's a job,
so, yeah.
But I love my job.
And that's something that not many people can say. So
that's
it's
true,
luck,
very true.
Luck.
So I'm very grateful.
Yes.
You know, I never forget that. So.
It is.
Yeah.
Do you teach?
I used to, but not anymore. I felt like I needed to teach myself. You know, I didn't feel. I mean, I could teach because my experience now. I mean, I think it would be good for somebody to learn from my experiences. But no, I don't teach. You know,
clinics. All
no,
that
I'm
stuff,
not a clinic guy.
classes, yeah.
No, they're great clinic guys, as you know. But I don't do clinics. No, I'd rather. Like last night when you saw me play, that is a clinic to me. Like going to see a real situation. Clinics are, you know, you play with tracks and stuff, and there's a lot to learn when you go to a clinic. But for me, the real scenario is seeing a band on stage live at a concert. You know, just there you go. That's how you learn. What's he doing there? You know, okay, I see what he's doing there, blah, blah, blah. But clinics are great too. I prefer not to do them.
How is your practice routine?
Oh yeah, it's usually song-based. So anytime somebody wants me to go on the road or somebody wants me to do a session, I don't do this all the time for sessions, but because I like to show up without knowing what the songs are, so it's fresh. But then if it's something really challenging, people know that it's challenging, and they go, Matt, we'll send it to you ahead of time. It's like, okay, thank you. and that's when I go to my practice room. So I practice songs. If there's no songs to practice, I just go in my room and I play time to a metronome and record myself, you know, just playing different grooves, like singing songs in my head. I guess it's song-based, you know, but I did buy the latest Steve Gadd book, Gaddaments.
Yes, we all
love
have
it. Yeah, I love it. So that's about as much of like rudimental drumming that I do is to warm up. And I love Steve Gadd, of course. Have you heard of him? No. So as far as practicing, it's
hi, Steve.
Yeah, hi, Steve. So yeah, as far as practicing, it's not really it's song based and time, you know, playing time, like
timekeeping.
Yeah, whether it's depending on the style, all rock based, blues based, whatever, rock and roll, or little shuffles and stuff, or swing. I don't mean big band swing. I mean like, you know, shuffles. It's all based on that stuff, and just as if I were playing in a band, because that's what I do. So that's my practice regime. I prefer to stay, you know, simple, like Phil Rudd from AC/DC, or Ringo, or Charlie Watts, just John Bonham. You know, just that's the style I try to emulate. And
rock feels.
Rock, yeah. And then, you know, I have a little bit of fusion background. When I was younger, I was 18, I was a huge Dave Weckl fan. Huge Dave Weckl fan. So I still have that kind of in, you know, the fills and stuff in me, and I can play it if it's appropriate. You know, I'm not gonna play a Weckl fill at a Vasco show, but yeah, I can kind of do that stuff. So I have a vocabulary of that type, drum fills and stuff, but I don't use them. It's more rock based. So
if they don't fit in the music,
if it doesn't fit, don't do it.
Music is the most important thing.
Yeah, the song.
More than drum.
Yeah, I'm not playing to get a transcription in Modern Drummer. You know, I'm playing to get on, you know, on the radio.
For music, yeah. After all these amazing experiences and going back also to big concerts like Modena Park, what makes you still play the drums?
I love it. You know, it doesn't matter if it's a big Modena Park show or if we're playing in a club for 20 people. I love playing drums. I love my job. You know, it's the best. You know, like you said earlier, not too many people can say they love what they do. So, and my mindset is no different if, again, Modena Park, a lot of people, but in my mind, I'm just playing for the people on stage as if there was only 20 people there, because there's no difference. From playing a small club or playing a huge stadium, you play the same, you know, maybe not as loud, you know, a small club, but it's a mindset is always, in my mind, I always envision a big 24-track recorder, you know, with 2-inch tape, kids, old school, recording every time I'm playing. So I'm in a recording session every time I sit behind the drums, whether it's in a club, in a garage, or at Modena Park.
Same spirit.
Same spirit, and I love that. I love doing that.
Apart from being a musician, who is Matt Log?
Who is Matt Log? That's a good question. I don't know. Just a guy who wants people to like him and consider him a good person, and and wants to, I don't know, like be considered a good person. I love American football, so yeah, my team, the Washington Commanders, they're horrible, but but I still love them. And so that's my hobby, watching sports. I like to work out. I like to exercise. You know, not too much. I consider music a hobby as well, you know, so, but it's good to break away every once in a while.
What's your favorite Italian dish?
Spaghetti vongole.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. He likes them too.
Really, spaghetti vongole. Yeah.
Just going back to the beginning, how did you start playing drums?
My older brother was a drummer for like 2 months or something, and I remember seeing old photos, family photos of me as a baby sitting next to the drums, and I just got enamored with the drum kit, his drum kit. He only played for like 2 months and never played again. And so he also turned me on to rock bands like Kiss, Queen, Aerosmith, all these other bands. So the Beatles, actually, he turned me on to the Beatles. So when I would stare at the album cover, like there's this one record called Magical Mystery Tour by the Beatles, and inside the album there was this photo album, and there was Ringo behind the drum kit, so I would just stare at that drum kit. So I begged my parents to buy me a drum set. They're like, no, your brother stopped, you know, you're gonna stop too. I'm like, no, I promise I'm not. They eventually got me a drum kit, and that's how it started.
So that's thanks to your parents.
Yes, yeah. Ciao, Mama and Papa. The support of your parents is very important, and I had 100% of that from my mother and father. My mom always used to say, go for your dreams. She always used to say that.
Great.
Yeah,
Great woman,
very
people.
great, yeah. Actually, they were here in these exact seats in 2007.
Oh,
they came to my first tour of Vasco, and we all were right here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Same hotel. So
Yeah,
good.
from 2007. So,
So they're here with us.
They are,
too.
exactly.
What you're up to now, and what are your future projects?
Yeah, well, I'm going to finish the Vasco tour, and then I'll go back to Los Angeles and take a break and take about 2 or 3 weeks off and reconnect with family and friends in Los Angeles. And then the good thing about social media is that you can post something on social media like, hey, I'm back in town, and so that usually starts the phone ringing again. So there's no real plans, but you know, once I'm back in town, to let my circle of friends that hire me, let them know I'm back in town, I'll get back to work. But I'm going to take some time off. You know.
Well, you deserve it.
Thank you. Thank you so
You
much.
deserve it.
Yeah.
Well, many thanks for being with Planet Drum, answering our questions.
My pleasure.
One last word of wisdom for the Planet Drum readers.
Okay. You know, be yourself and love what you do. And always try your best, show up on time, and just be a person that people like to be around, and try to be the best musician you can possibly be.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Marco.
Thanks.
Grazie mille.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
è possibile!